a flexitarian. So, I mean, the issue is most people do not consume the recommended amounts of dairy, fruits, legumes, which are chickpeas, lentils, and beans, including soy, sort of seafood, vegetables, or whole grain. So, I mean, effectively, you don't really want to overhaul your own diet. But I mean, effectively, being a flexitarian is a play on two words, where you dip in, flexibility of having exactly what you want between meat and vegetables. I mean, you can potentially be a vegan where you avoid any product produced by an animal, but that is something that is probably you're going to strive for. So the flexitarian diet can be generally defined as semi-vegetarian, plant-forward diet that incorporates dairy and eggs and allows room for meat from time to time. The emphasis on plant foods is thought to contribute to the health benefits associated with a vegetarian diet without requiring compliance to the dietary rules of a 100% vegetarian or vegan diet. I think this is the thing. Rather than move sort of totally away from sort of a meat diet, you need to introduce vegetables that are interesting and have a good, decent taste, using seasonings and other products, and introduce less and less of your meat into your diet. You need to then slowly replace these vegan products, like milk and honey, etc. So I think the problem to do it in the big bang, it's sort of you've got to find out what works for your body, and it's a slow process. So I mean, calories in the flexitarian diet mostly come from nutrient-rich foods such as fruits, legumes, whole grains, and vegetables. And when it comes to your protein, you're replacing your meats with soya food, legumes, nuts, and seeds. So you need to select the ones that you most like and are most nutritious. Protein can also come from eggs and dairy, but if you're a vegan, staunch vegan, this is something you can't do. But the issue is that a number of minerals and vitamins are hard to get, or you don't get the relevant quantity of them in a vegetarian diet. So you need to sort of do the analysis, and there are some supplements that I will discuss on other particular episodes that you should have. You should also at best limit your intake of saturated fat, added sugars, and sodium. Now, that isn't really to say that you should remove sodium totally, but it's the right sodium. So sort of not your table salt, but other, Himalayan salt, etc. That is something you should have in your diet. But a flexitarian diet, can have a positive impact on your health, while not being 100% vegetarian or vegan. It will help you identify the different choices that you can have. and it will open your eyes to other choices of more nutrient dense foods, your vegetables, your fruits, your legumes, your whole grains, your low fat dairy. uh, Obviously, if you are not a vegan, if you're not a vegan, your lean proteins and healthy fats. Also, your beverages and relatively less red and processed meats. Obviously, avoiding your sugar sweetened food and beverages with refined grains. So it's more sort of walking through the uh, the shopping aisles and picking up other things that are good for you. If you can have sort of uh, other sort of desserts where you can use sort of yogurts or vegan yogurts. Um, you can also, there have been a review that it makes you feel a little bit lighter because of having these vegetables which are easier to digest. And multiple studies have suggested that if you have a flexitarian diet, that can help improve markers of metabolic health, reduce blood pressure, and decrease the risk of type 2 diabetes. It also found that it had a role to play in the treatment of inflammatory bowel disease, such as Crohn's disease. So there are other particular protective effects of this food where you are using more omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, cytochemicals. You're probably increasing your fiber intake and having a different type of protein. So this new type of eating can have an impact on your, a favorable impact on heart disease. So it reduces one's risk for cardiovascular disease. And that's effective because you're having more fiber and you're actually having sort of products that will lower the risk of CVD. Of course, as well, if you're monitoring your intake of sugars, you're going to be, less prone for diabetes, or you can manage your diabetes. So if you're having significant lower levels of glucose, insulin, and reduced insulin resistance, as well as the risk of developing diabetes mellitus. So also, because of the fiber intake, you're less likely to get things like certain types of cancer, including colon cancer. You will be able to control your weight management because you are eating more products that have very low or zero calorific amounts. So that is pretty good. And I think the main thing is that if you have more fiber in your diet, then you get the food will traverse through your system a lot quicker because studies have shown the longer food takes to flow through your body, the more sort of inflamed the relevant intestine and lower intestine and stomach get, and it gives you prone to a whole raft of cancers. But the thing is that plant-based foods contain many vitamins and minerals that are good for health, including vitamin A, C, E, and K, uh, and folate, and the minerals potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and manganese. So they're all good things for the body to operate. And I mean, the issue is if you are a vegan, if you avoid dairy, it can be difficult to get vitamin B vitamins, enough potassium, calcium, and vitamin D. Um, Also, in eggs, you can need more vitamin A, D, E, choline, iron, lutein, and folate. But the thing is that if you take calcium, you have to take other things like magnesium, etc., so they can be properly processed by the body, so that they can actually go on correctly to strengthen your bones. Um, I suppose the good thing is that you would have an environmental impact on one side, where you there's not going to be the high processing of animals for your diet. But the other thing is that there's going to be more air miles and food potentially grown abroad to actually carry on with the appetite for all those particular fruits and vegetables, because not all fruits are available in every single country because they're not hot enough. So, but it's worth taking into account that, you're you need to make sure that you have enough iron, you have enough protein, and these can't always be taken in the correct manner from plant food. So you may need to supplement this with tablets if you want to go down the vegan route, or you may want to have the odd boost of iron by adding some good steak, or you may have to bulk up on products with iron in, because you probably need an enormous amount of iron for just a small steak, in vegetables. So a good one is spinach. So tips for trying a flexitarian diet. At each meal, build a plate of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and healthy fats. When choosing protein sources, opt for plant-based foods, soy, legumes, nuts, and seeds, dairy, and eggs most of the time. Take advantage of the flexibility of this plan. Meat can be incorporated from time to time, but be mindful of its portion sizes. So you could have sort of the 5 and 2. So you just have 2 days where you have sort of the meat alternative, and other 5 days you're sort of trying to see what works, what you're interested, what's tasty. It's also interesting to determine what sort of sauces, as well as spices, etc., and herbs that you can use to actually make the product a lot tastier. But take advantage that you can also include more whole nutrient dense foods, which may naturally reduce the consumption of foods or beverages that are high in calories, saturated fats, added sugars, and salt. So, on reflection, this diet will reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. But you need to have it as a holistic thing, because there's no point eating well if you're having too much intake in tobacco, vaping, because a lot of the vaping products, you can't generally know exactly what they are. The drinking of alcohol, the intake of illicit, illegal drugs, and there has been cases that, if you take too much of chocolate, etc., that can be detrimental to your health. So it's effectively utilizing natural sugars and avoiding processed products. So that would, where your sugars, fats, salt are from. And I see this also as a case of trying to get the cookbooks out and make things on your own. So a lot of it can be quite easy, a lot of slicing and dicing and mixing and sprinkling. But then you can sort of make quite a lot of these things yourself by just opening tins and adding bits and bobs. And then you can be a little bit adventurous, and you can follow a recipe, make a nice pastry topping to your product, and cooking things via recipe to actually increase your culinary skills. But it's all about taste, it's all about enjoyment. So I think the thing is that you've got to play around with it. You've got to try new things in the supermarket if you can, and just enjoy it. So if you could subscribe to my channel, if you could comment how you liked this particular podcast, and if you could share this with your friends so that we could get more people interested in what I am saying, because it is fairly simplistic what I'm doing. If anybody's interested, I would like to find a sponsor for these particular podcasts as well. If you want me to manage your podcast, because this is a completely long journey, because you have to manage the relevant creation of the products, the editing, the scripting, as well as updating the relevant videos, and to actually push these particular videos into YouTube and the relevant podcasting engines that are around. So there's a lot of work involved. It's very timely. So if anybody's interested in me doing that, please comment on this particular video, and I'll be in touch. Thank you very much, and see you on the next one. Bye.